for great acoustic guitars. He'll do them for you.
I should do that because he'd be great. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Eye Bashes, where we bash about everything and maybe even you. But first, we've got a technical difficulty. The EOS webcam utility. What the fuck was that?
See that shit? That was crazy.
And now your lighting.
Now I'm like extra exposed.
How did that happen? You're exposed. The
I'm
Massey
exposed.
prenup. It's the Massey prenup. You're exposed.
Ocean exposed.
What movie is that from?
No, I don't know.
You've been exposed. You're exposed. It's the Massey prenup. It's a great movie. Intolerable Cruelty. Clooney, the Coen brothers, and the ride of all rides. What's her face? Michael Douglas's wife.
Oh, Catherine
Zeta-Jones. Have you never seen that movie?
No.
Oh, man, it's a gem. The Massey prenup. He's the world's best divorce lawyer, and she's a complete scam artist.
Ah.
It's really good, and it's funny as... Well, good evening, everybody. We've got Justin in the house, and Joe, and Scott Wexland, and Mr. Badgas. Was it Badges? I don't know how to say your name. You should give us a phonetic. And the incomparable Andrew Volkovich is here. And Dwayne Durham is here. Got 33 people in the house to start off the bash. So who should we call a cunt to start things off? Olivia Wilde, should we call her that? Because I don't think she's the legit character in that thing. I don't think at all.
Why is that? Why do you think that? So to fill in our audience... Olivia Wilde, if you don't know, a couple of months ago, she was served papers from her ex-husband, Jason Sudeikis.
Ex-partner. They've never been married.
Ex-partner then. Yeah. Of SNL fame and a big love of her life, I believe. They have children, I believe.
They have 2 children.
And then they split. And she was announcing, she was at her own premiere for her own movie that she directed, her directorial debut, no less. And on the stage, she was served papers live. A lot of people now she came clean and said that she's not surprised that this is the sort of petty shit he does. That's not a quote, by the way, but that's
no, she said there's a reason why I left that relationship.
This is the reason why. Yeah.
However, she's also been cavorting with what's his face from that sold out 50 nights at Madison Square Garden.
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles since January 2021. So
well, the two of them have moved on sexually, like intimately.
Sexually.
I say sexually because that's it. Like it's, you don't meet your next husband, you meet your next lover, right?
Right. That other stuff happens later. First it's the lover, and then it's the partner, and then it's the witch.
or at least you don't want it to happen. Then there were rumors of Shia Labeouf.
Oh yeah,
in this new movie they made.
He was fired from it.
Called Don't Worry, Darling, and he was fired from it because the guy's a bit of a crazy fucker.
He gets fired from everything.
Yeah, because he's wild. The guy doesn't know the difference between acting world and
he's a blurred.
He doesn't have suspended disbelief. He's him, and you just have to shoot him on camera. Meanwhile, the guy started in Constantine. Remember that movie with
sure,
with Keanu Reeves, where he's like an exorcist and he's his helper and he's a little taxi driver friend or something, and he's no one. The next thing it turns into this crazy maniac in the Hollywood realm. I don't know. It's wild. Olivia Wilde served with papers. Let me show the. There is footage of it happening.
But what are the papers for since they're not married? What is
custody? It's custody stuff, right?
I mean, the mother always gets custody. It's very rare that a woman doesn't get custody of her children.
The only thing you got, if you got it, drugs.
drugs, like
If she's
like
on
Britney
drugs,
Spears.
you'll get the kids. It's the only thing. We don't need the volume, but there she is. She got served. Look, she's actually speaking. Somebody walked up to her. Okay, so they cut to it because the news channels want to show you the thing up front, right? Then the scoop.
She's
Okay,
kind of
so this,
Melania.
so she's actually speaking. Watch.
This is for me right now.
Gracing the cover of Variety, talking about this moment in April.
Is this script? Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you.
Got it.
The 38-year-old filmmaker caught off guard but remaining composed on stage at CinemaCon discussing her upcoming film when she was suddenly handed a manila envelope containing legal papers filed by her ex.
Wilde telling Variety, "It was my workplace, and any other workplace, it would be seen as an attack. It was really upsetting. There was a huge breach in security, which is really scary." Adding, "I hated that this nastiness distracted from the work of so many different people and the studio that I was up there representing. To try to sabotage that was really vicious."
The ambush taking place while promoting her thriller, Don't Worry, Darling. Wilde also taking a swipe at
With
her ex,
Florence
saying, "But you know,
Pugh.
sadly, it was not something that was entirely surprising to me. I mean, there's a reason I left that relationship."
So the question really is, did he mean it to happen right there and then?
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Okay, so when you get served papers, the whole point of it is you put together a case, a claim, or a complaint, and they file and so on, and your lawyer says, okay, we need to serve the person because before they're served, then we can't move ahead. Okay,
Sure.
so they need to be served. Now, how do you serve papers? Papers need to touch your body. I actually have a friend of mine who used to do this for work. He used to serve papers. And until you're served, nothing could go ahead. So when people avoid the serving, it's all stopped. Okay. So this guy is a great story. A friend of mine, he waited outside a guy's house and hid under his car in the driveway. And he heard the guy coming out at 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. And the guy said, you got to be up early in the morning to beat me, man. And the guy jumped out. My friend jumped out from under the car, hit him with the paper, threw the papers at him. Quite often they throw them at you and they spin and they hit you. And he goes, "You've been served." Right?
Oh, dramatic.
Yeah. So, yeah, very dramatic. There's the film The Insider with Al Pacino, where he's Jeffrey Wygand's character. Russell Crowe's playing Jeffrey Wygand. Big Tobacco is after him, and he's going through the airport. He's on his way to Kentucky for a deposition, and I can't speak tonight. And the guy is like, "Hey, Jeffrey," and he turns around like it's an old friend. The guy throws the shit. You've been served. Once you've been served the papers, they touch your body. So the thing, when I saw that clip, and this is a few months ago at this point, I thought, okay, you want custody. It's getting aggressive. She ain't answering your calls or whatever's going on between the two of you. And you're being, it's getting a little weird. Okay, we need to serve her the papers though. Somebody needs to go up to her front door. Now she ain't home. She's out doing this and she's doing that. So the lawyer said, "Well, where is she?" And maybe Sudeikis said, "Well, doesn't she have a premiere next week? Can't you get her there?" Or perhaps the lawyer said, "She has a premiere next week. I see she's doing her thing there. Can we get her there?" And of course, some guy working for the law firm isn't allowed backstage, isn't allowed near Mrs. Wilde or Ms. Wilde because she's a very famous character. That would be a breach of security. So instead, while she's on stage, he gets front row tickets or whatever. He gets a ticket to the thing and he walks in with the papers because this is his job. He has to serve her the papers. And she's on stage and he walks up front to the stage and goes there. So I thought, maybe this is his only way to serve her the papers. inappropriate, not very nice, distasteful, but no.
I mean, I did whatever due diligence I could, and I read that they had amicably decided to separate, and their children were in their first thoughts, and they were planning on keeping it super friendly. So, like I said to you in an earlier text, when we talk about what we're going to talk about, obviously something has changed, and I just only know that at some point, he's been very quiet about the whole thing, and she's been very quiet, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of blew up. He's also obviously worth a whole hell of a lot more money than he was when they were in the beginning of their relationship, because he's got a gigantic television show of which he is the creator, showrunner.
What's the name of that show?
It's Ted Lasso. It's a monster show.
Yeah,
it's a monster show.
Big success.
Huge. It was the show that got everybody through the pandemic because it's lighthearted and it's a great show. It's really well written. The second series was nowhere near as good as the first because it just tended to just get a little too sappy. But this has certainly added to his coffers. So I would imagine what's happening here now is probably financially related, because he when they decided to break up, he was not in this kind of new earning phase, which he's in now. I mean, it won every Emmy award known to mankind. Everybody on the show won an award. It won best series, best cast, won everything. And it deserved it because the show was great. The first series was excellent. The second one was good. The first series was great. It was really terrific.
But it's down to custody now of the kids.
Well, I mean, isn't that something that they always dangle around? Custody. I mean, what did she want? Full custody, or I don't know. I mean, Jason Sudeikis has had a kind of colorful dating past. There were rumors for years and years and years that he was the father of January Jones's child.
Really?
Yeah, that was going on. I don't know.
But they were dating. Yeah.
They were dating. I mean, she's probably. I mean, my God, he's got great taste in ladies. I'll tell you that much, because he's never been with a less than stellar specimen.
Yeah, he went from January Jones to Olivia Wilde. Not bad, man.
Not bad.
Fucking Pete Davidson is right behind you there, man.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Sudeikis is not an unattractive guy. I just think he's kind of wallpapery. You know, he looks like a regular guy to me. But he's funny, I guess.
He's funny. He's funny. He's laid back. He's funny. He's laid back.
And he suffers from a very interesting condition. He does not have a sense of smell.
That's right. I heard that.
Yeah, I don't know the technical name for it. I forgot. But he was born without the taste of smell.
Sense of smell.
Sense of smell. Keep saying that. Yeah. So when people go, what do you like to eat? He said, well, food is different for me because so much of taste is smell that food tastes completely different to me.
So he just wants salty versus sweet versus sour.
Right. It's those things, yeah. Nuance is lost on him. You know, so I guess if he goes to a Japanese restaurant or gets a cocktail and they're blowing carbon or smoke, he's worthless.
Like,
yeah.
Good luck.
Just give me a pretzel.
Just give me something with salt on it. Bad Gas. Mr. Bad Gas. $20. Gaming name from my Quake days. Quake. Which one? Quake 1, 2, 3, or Quake? How far? I played all the Quakes. Well, what a great game. Dark game. Bashing as much as I can. Big fan of Mark Knopfler.
Who isn't?
Yeah, amazing guitarist. Lights of Taormina. Is it not Taormina? Is it Taormina? Currently favorite. Have you seen the videos on his studio or guitar stories? Great fun. I saw a couple of videos of him talking about stuff.
Me too. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, an innovator. More than a great guitar player, he's a guitar innovator. His style is so unique. I mean, the second he plays, you instantly know who that is. You know,
there's no mistaking that guy, right? It's because it's all finger picking, right?
It's all that, yeah. It's a very unusual style of playing, and so incredibly smooth.
You know who I asked? I asked Adrian from Bark and Jack to come on, not tonight necessarily, but whenever he wants. He just built a guitar. He built a Strat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's getting back into guitar because he has a degree in music. That guy.
As you said.
Yeah,
I did not
plays
know he was a
guitar.
musician in any way. He doesn't. I don't know. I mean, what
I
strikes
think
you?
you can see it in the edits, in the editing. You can see the musical influence. I think.
Oh.
Anyway, he's getting back into guitar, and he just built one. He put
Built
it
a
together
Strat.
by hand. Yeah, he built a Strat. I think he bought a body and bought a neck.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. He may have actually gotten in with the woodwork, but I'm not sure.
That would be
And he
crazy.
kind of put it together. Yeah, that would be a higher level. That's like your in-house movement watch.
You're a luthier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not just Eddie Van Halen buying seconds from Boogie Bodies and Charvel and putting the screws in.
Right. I think this is. But didn't Brian May do that? Didn't he get him?
Brian May did do
that guitar from.
They built
from
it out of a
ground up?
mantelpiece. It's out of the tremolo is from a motorcycle. The wood is from his family's fireplace mantelpiece. Yeah, and they wired the pickups themselves. He says since switched to Burns long ago, but he the Red Special. That's a completely him and his dad did it together.
Seiko made a watch dedicated to that. There's a Seiko 5 with the Brian May. It's like a guitar case and Brian May design on the watch itself. There's a Brian May Seiko 5 going around.
Wow. When was this, a while back?
6 months.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you think Queen is big everywhere. They're really beyond big in Japan. I think they're gods
you're big in
there.
Japan.
Yeah. Well, they're just monstrous over there. They're just considered royalty. But I've got to see. Are you booting up a picture of that? Oh, I'd love to see that.
Now.
I think I want
as
it.
we speak. Now, if I click on that thing, watch. Yeah, open a new screen. Great. Thank you so much. What am I using? StreamYard. Making it difficult for me. There you go. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Seiko 5 Sports Brian May edition.
Okay. It's not so pretty.
Brian Harold May.
Yeah, Brian Harold May, because his dad was Harold May. There it is. I've almost bought one of those so many times and just always go, why would I want that?
So who remade them? Who made a
many companies. First out of the box was Guild. Guild was the first he licensed the design to. Then later on, Burns, which makes his pickups now. And now he makes them himself. He set up a company probably out of Japan or Korea, and it's just the Brian May Guitars Company. So you can buy them online. I
offered one of these back, I don't know, 5 or 6 months ago. I was offered one from a Seiko dealer where I buy a lot of Seikos.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the case. Looks like a guitar case. That's the way I was offered it there. It was, I think, $6.95.
Okay, so it's not
$5.95. What? No. Well, Seiko 5 is good. It's it's a bit like the SKX, but it's not a screw down crown, so you can't really go underwater too deep with it. But it has the same. It has the same aesthetic. It has the crown at 4 o'clock there, 20 past, just like the SKX. I have a couple of those style of watches, but yeah, I was just like, seems gimmicky to me. But look, if you're a huge Brian May fan,
I am, and I don't want it now. Seeing it, I'm a huge Brian fan, but I don't like the knurling on the bezel. I think it's kind of funny. It looks like a double knurl.
It's heavy. It's like it's 2 stories high because that bezel is huge.
It's not really like.
Yeah, look how big. I have a few of these kind of watches.
Me too. It looks kind of like a mace, right? Like the weapon, a mace, or like something you tenderize meat with. Like those squares of pyramids.
Too much bezel.
It's too much bezel. It's too much bezel. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you know what's funny? You buy that guitar, you buy a Vox AC30, and guess what? You don't sound like Brian May.
Because it's Brian May's playing that makes Brian May.
That's right. You can't plug into Brian May's rig and sound like Brian May because Brian May is Brian May. It's just
It's
the way
all
it
to
is.
do with the touch. Zvonimir Bonanza, $7.99. Thank you so much. Watching
Thank
live
you.
for once.
For once.
What's Tassie? Where's
What
Tassie?
is Tassie?
What is that?
Tassie. I want to know.
Tasmania? Is that
Oh, is that right? How cool. Tasmania.
Because people quite often write to me and go, "Oh, I'm in the Blimey," meaning they're in Britain.
They're in Britain, right? Or the Blighty. That's another one.
Or the Blighty. Excuse
Yeah.
me. It's not, Blimey.
Good
Blimey,
old,
I'm in the Blighty.
I'm
Excuse
in-
me, I got it
yeah.
wrong.
you know, sitting here in old Blighty, you know.
Blighty.
Blighty.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the Big
pint.
Smoke. That's London, right? The Big Apple is New York. Big Smoke is
The
London.
Big Apple. I always thought that was so fucking stupid. And they coined that when New York was just a rat roach infested, garbage strewn dumpville. The Big Apple. Like there was nothing fresh and delicious and crisp about New York. It was just like Ed Koch and just shit. It was like
crap-
everything
we're
you
crap
see in
group
Grand
together.
Theft Auto 4. It was
Right.
that. It's just garbage. Tasmania, he says.
Well-
Zvonimir says yes. Tasmania. Very cool.
Tasmania. In the Tassie. He's in the Tassie. Wow.
I'll say, what does Zack Wilde do to make his guitar sound so beautiful? Does he? He employs a technique called pinch harmonics, and it's a gimmick. It's where you take the pick or the plectrum, wherever you're from, if you're from Bloody, and you kind of hold it really tight and you strike the string with the pick and the edge of your fingernail, the flat part, and it creates the squeaky sound. And Zack tends to overdo that. Anyway,
Who's Zack Wilde again? Remind me.
Zack Wilde is the guy that eventually settled into being the longtime guitar player for Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne. After
Well, way after Randy. Randy
Randy-
died,
Randy
and then
Rhoads.
Jakey Lee was in there, and then Zack Wilde got in there. Jakey Lee made some excellent records with Ozzy, and I don't think Zack did. I mean, No More Tears is good, and he's made a couple of good records. He's a great player, Zack Wilde, but he does a lot of squeak, 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 squeak. He does a lot of that.
we like when the pinching happens.
I do it. I just think it should be used sparingly with lots of aplomb,
Yes.
Because when you do it once, it could be like, especially if you do a pinch harmonic and then you bend the note up. Oof, that's magical. Brian does that. Brian is the king of that.
Brian May.
Brian May, even like in the Bohemian Rhapsody solo, he does that, which is great. This Bob Sacramento
I was
says-
watching clips of Coldplay. They just did. It's all over the internet, all over
watched it.
TikTok and Instagram and stuff. They just did a show. It must have been last week or 2 weeks ago or something in Wembley Stadium.
Yep.
Did you see the clips of it though?
I saw the clip where doesn't Chris Martin know it's yeah, yeah, yo? Doesn't he know that? He was going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fuck off.
Yeah. For what?
During running up that hill.
Oh yeah, you mentioned
They
that
did
last
Running
time. I
Up
talk
That
about
Hill.
their own concert.
Oh, yeah. It's massive.
So yeah, like massive and like beyond belief show. I mean, to play Wembley Stadium is quite something. By the way, there's something interesting about this too. Let me rewind this. Sorry, I'm hearing shit in my headphones. Here's the thing. Here's the thing they did. This makes them so milk toast to me. Can you hear that music?
Yeah, it's fucking John Williams. It's E.T.
It's fucking E.T.
Yeah.
And it's like Yes in 1973 with the Firebird Suite, or Marillion had La Gazza Ladra, and so many bands start out with some classical music to build up, and these guys just played E.T. and it just describes it describes Coldplay for me. They're so generic and
Wondrous.
basic.
Whimsical.
I said, oh, I want E.T. I always loved E.T. when I was a kid. Let's play E.T. at the start. There's no real reason or anything behind. There's no substance. They just play E.T. It was a magnificent soundtrack, but it's like you hollow idiots, you know?
Everybody does this now, and it's so shit. It's so shit. Everyone does this. And you know who did it first? Fucking Kiss. And you know why they did it? Because they look like monsters. And this is just a bunch of lads under a fucking stage in t-shirts and get fuck off.
Yeah, it's extremely underwhelming. But anyway, they did an interesting thing where everyone who came into the show was handed an armband.
Yeah.
And their armband was like hooked up to a computer somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the best angle to see it, but at some point, all the armbands of everyone in the audience are in sync. So the entire stadium, the armbands are alight. This is probably the worst angle I just found right here.
Well, that's
this is still in the daytime, so that's not going to help. You see, like it's all they all went red for a moment, and they changed colors, and there's patterns going through computerized program patterns. It's a bit like a Mexican wave if it were on armbands and lights.
My question is that how in the do you send a signal to 90,000 things at once?
Well, it's not hard because we've seen drones do synchronized shit in the sky.
But
This
it's gotta
is
hit
probably the easiest
90,000.
of technology. It's not 90,000. It's about 50,000.
They're all
I
on
mean,
the same
Wembley
channel.
Stadium at capacity is how many people?
I think it's 100,000.
It's not, is it?
The old one was. I think the new
You
one.
know who
is
played
smaller.
it to capacity? My brother.
Oh yeah, sure.
He
Yeah.
played it. He was on that stage. He played it to capacity.
Isn't that
He
great?
would know. He'd be the right man to ask. Let's see if he's around. I believe it's 50 or 60,000 maximum, but I might be wrong. I know the stadiums down in Brazil are bigger.
Oh yeah,
They're
well,
much higher capacity. But anyway, you can see how they did it there. It's kind of impressive what they did. Look, it's all synchronized shit. That's everybody's
90,000.
armbands. 90,000. Okay.
90,000.
So you can cut out the front
Yeah,
half there.
cut out. That's about 10, 12, 20,000. 20,000.
But then you have the pitch.
Yeah,
The
that's
people who are down on the floor.
1,000.
It's not 1,000. The people down on the floor is the biggest.
No, I'm saying you
chunk.
cut out there for the
Oh,
staging.
you can cut out 1,000.
You cut out 1,000 people with his giant ego ramp.
Yeah,
Because that's what it's called in the industry, the ego ramp.
The ego ramp.
So this is where the ego ramps go. So you can go out there and be adored. I just
Isn't
find
that nice though?
yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh,
Like,
well,
that's better
sure.
than lighters in the air. Look, they're able to control it.
Yeah, it
And
must be one
synchronize. Look, they
channel.
synchronize it. Look at that shit happening. Isn't that wild? They were able to do that.
That is
Very,
wild.
very inventive idea.
This is a band that just wanted to be U2 so bad and
Yeah.
just didn't
They
even,
never had the
didn't even get a
charisma.
10th of the way there.
Yeah, they never have the depth and
You
the
know, 'cause he's
charisma of
always-
U2. Well, because U2, if you'll allow me say, I think U2 were deeper or are deeper.
U2 are certainly deeper
dig
than this
deeper. I
guy.
mean, they sing about death and assassination, you know.
Sure.
Pride in the Name of Love is the MLK assassination. Sunday Bloody Sunday is about that terrible massacre, the British slaughtering the Irish and so on. Like there's depth to it. These guys just talk about, what do they talk about? I don't even know.
I
what they
don't know
talk
enough
about.
about them to just think that, like the word you used earlier is so apropos. And it's just, they're just such milk toast. I don't think that they're a bad group. I don't think they're a great group. I just think that, I guess I'm happy that there's some kind of rock selling out stadiums. I'm
That's
happy
good,
for
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Could be worse. That could be Cardi B we're looking at right now.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
Could she do that?
I don't know. Probably. I mean, she has the money to do it and the audience. I don't know if she could do 90,000 people, but Harry Styles could do 90,000 people.
Harry
Because
Styles has
if he can
done
do
this
15 or
He's done
10
it
or
already.
15 sellout shows in MSG, that's
20,000 a
90,000.
pop. Yeah.
Mm.
He's already done Wembley. He's already
Look at
done.
this.
That's older music sounds like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a commercial, like for toothpaste or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Toyota.
refreshing.
We'll get you there.
Oh yeah, it's an airline. We'll
Right.
get you there
Booking.com.
in style.
Yeah, I mean, I like a couple of their songs a lot, but I think that the rest of it is,
That's pretty inventive, though. That idea.
their staging is just genius, beautiful.
Huge. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that in my life. And they've got fireworks, and everybody has to have fireworks now.
They have shitload of pyrotechnics and fireworks and explosions.
Yeah.
They had balloons that fell into the crowd. They have all these armbands on everybody. It was,
Which is so shitty, because I used to love when like my favorite bands had pyro, because they were the type of bands that should have pyro.
Well,
It
they
was-
have a shot from
from James Webb,
from James Webb. Look at the
Yeah.
shot, the high res shot from James Webb.
the high res one there. And listen to that shit. And listen to that edge nonsense in the back. The delay guitar.
Well,
thing.
he was overt about that. He always wanted to be the next U2.
Okay.
That was his vision always. It was like, I want to be U2. I want to be the next U2. Personally, I never thought he had the charisma of Bono, but he's
God,
okay.
no,
People
he's
like him.
He's goofy.
Yeah, he's like a goofy. Yeah,
He's goofy.
yeah. It's a different thing.
Do you
They're
want us to
okay. They're okay. But
con MCN? We could certainly take you down with that comment.
Wow.
I have 2 words for you. Achtung baby. You two sucked after
U2 sucked
Joshua
after
Tree.
Joshua Tree. Well, I liked No Line on the Horizon. I thought that was except for the single. The single was stupid, but if you leave that aside,
Yeah. Well, they made a couple of mistakes with what was that one? Get on your bike, or what was it called? Get on your boots.
Get your boots on. That's from
was it.
that's from that exact album.
That what a fucking boo boo that
I
was. 'Cause that song
deleted
was
it immediately, and I enjoyed the rest of the album.
shite.
The album had stuff from Daniel Lanois was on there, like the old days, and Brian Eno's in there with his Yamaha CP70 doing this cool shit. That album is kind of cool. If you just delete the singles are very obviously the singles.
I like the singles from well, first of all, my favorite U2 record is Pop, which is a much maligned record because it's a very deep record, and that single was Discotheque, and people went they got so angry with that. But that record had Gone, and it had so many great songs on it. I think as a body of work, I think that they're great artists. I think that U2 is a collective of great artists, all 4 of them. So I don't know. I think Chris Martin is the guy that writes everything in that band. So that can ruin a thing too when you've got one guy in a band that does everything.
Yeah, because the 4 of them come out at the beginning of the show and they all wave, and their faces, forgettable faces, unfortunately. But then it's Chris. It's all about Chris. That's an odd feeling, I think. In the
Can you
band.
name
That can
any other
happen.
guy in that band?
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. When a band is truly become legendary, everyone
You can name
every
all the
member of
guys,
the
or
band.
at least a few of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
can name anybody.
It's like Guns N' Roses. Everybody knows Slash. Everyone.
but
He's the
don't you-
fucking guitarist. He never spoke at a microphone in his life, but they all know Slash.
I think they know everybody in that band, pretty much. Right?
You
I just
might, but
watched
I
the
think a
2-hour
lot of
thing.
people who know U2, they know Bono and The Edge. They might, the next level down, know Adam Clayton and Larry Mullen. But if you don't know U2 at all, it's most likely you know Bono and The Edge. If you know Led Zeppelin, you know.
Oh, don't say that. You should know everybody in Led Zeppelin.
Well, for me, it's John Paul Jones.
Well,
It starts with
yeah, well, there's John Paul Jones.
well, it starts with John Paul Jones, and that's all we care about. But like, I like when a band is like characters that you love, different characters. I like that. It's like the Monkees.
Well, listen, it's like, I grew up a huge Kiss fan, and everybody knew every member of that band because they wanted to be a superhero version of the Beatles. And everybody knew George, Paul, John, and Ringo. They all
everybody knew George, Paul, John, and Ringo. It's so true.
They did. And then everybody knew Mickey, Peter, Michael, and Davey in the Monkees. Everybody. That was the thing. You loved. She's in love with Davey, and he's in love with, she's in love with Mike Nesmith, and and then it was like Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter, and the Demon, the Star Child, the Spaceman. It was like, and they had pyro, and the pyro meant something. Now Coldplay with fire and bombs, it just looks Disney.
Well, what happens quite often, first of all, I thought it was ingenious, the ideas they did. But then I also thought, and this occurred to me with Pink Floyd after Roger left, that they were like, they're not the kind of guys who would dance around the stage and do a lot of performing as such. So they had to make up for that lack of movement on the stage with movement in other things. So they'd explode shit and set things alight, and they do all sorts of stuff to give people something to fucking look at, because Dave Gilmour is just playing his guitar. That's all he's doing. He's standing in the exact same place the whole time. So the stage managers are like, we need something that's going to give people something to look at. So I always find that the lesser the performer, especially in the lead singer, the more pyrotechnics and the more effects there will be.
Yeah.
You take Pink, for example. She goes out. She's picked up by a fucking harness, and
she does aerialist
she goes out and spins around above the crowd and stuff. She's taking care of that job herself.
Sure.
These guys, like, the most that Chris Martin does is he jumps up and down on his heels and goes like this and feels happy and
he's
smiles.
Like I told you last week, I said he's like a court jester. Sire.
Right.
It's so like, corny.
Yeah,
now,
so
like,
it's like explode lights everywhere
bullshit.
To make you feel like you saw a lot of shit jump up and down and happen, but actually you didn't see a lot of shit jump up and down and happen. Then you see Queen 1986 or whatever, and it's like there's none of that.
Well, to be fair, they did have a big show. Queen had the best lights in the business. They did. They had an entire wall of pars. Pars, for the layman, are individual cans that can change color. Each light can change color. It's automated.
Look at that.
Very early days.
The early days of that.
Yeah. So they would start out their show, because I saw them with Freddie 4 times. They would start out the show, and you would see nothing. You would just see this thing, and it would go like this. And it would be red, green, and blue lights. And then they would separate and become like walls into themselves. Right. And but they didn't have bombs and pyro and screens. That came later. But the bomb thing, I mean, who was doing fire? Kiss started it. Now it doesn't really work with Coldplay or with Nickelback or Shania Twain or whomever's doing a big production. But you know who it does work for? Rammstein.
It works.
That is cool, man. Because those guys
Deutschland.
That's crazy.
Mr. Bad Gas, the Who were all characters. I know, man. I played with the Who. I supported the Who twice. Where did we support the Who? One time in Atlantic City, the other time in PNC Center or somewhere. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Townsend, monster. I mean, Townsend was bigger than Daltrey on stage. and of course Entwistle, and of course Keith Moon. What a character! A lot of people back in the day were probably watching him more than anybody else.
They were.
What a team of characters. That's a great band, man. You want a band with different characters, you know? It's like you watch Star Wars. You see Harrison Ford, he's Han Solo, he's great. And you like Luke Skywalker, and you like Princess Leia, and you like C-3PO. You like all the different, you like the wisdom of Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's the dynamic, the spectrum there, all the different colors of the rainbow. That's what you love. I wondered that about Chris Martin. If I ever meet that guy, which I probably never will, I'm not really deep in the music business anymore.
Maybe you should go to the place that sells kombucha.
And I would like to ask him, like, if you wanted to be like you too, why didn't you mention the names of your band? Why was it all about you and your band were anonymous? They could have been hired guns. If 3 other guys walked out on the stage there at Wembley and they were similar looking, nobody would have noticed. That's not a band.
That's not a band, no.
That's Chris Martin's band. Chris Martin and the Spinning Tops.
Yeah.
We were asked that one time by RCA Music, would you consider being Colin Smith and the, you know, something?
Did they say that?
Yeah, they asked us that.
Oh,
and
God.
Let me give you one guess to the guy in the room who was not that affected by that question.
I mean, Colin and the what and the Vernon Boulevard Band. You could be like Bruce Springsteen.
Could you believe it? Could you believe it? And then, of course, he went solo and didn't do a fucking thing. So there you go. Proof is in the fucking pudding.
They changed your name. They called you. They changed your name.
No, they didn't call us anything. We called ourselves. They asked us to call our band something else. We went through 1,000 names. We couldn't think of anything. We thought about the gain. You know, like the gain on your amplifier. Yeah, you raise the gain.
Oh, is that what it was for?
Yeah, the gain. It's on every on every amplifier is your gain. Raise the gain so it amplifies the volume. The gain.
Do you know where I thought it was from?
What?
And what's in a name that it come? What is the gain that accompanies fame? What is that lyric from The Eye? I thought it was from a lyric.
Oh, I don't think so.
It was never true, but we're all born to. I thought it was from one of your lyrics.
The gain. It was from the amp. It was from the amp. The gain, or at least that's what I thought it was. Maybe I don't know.
Where is the gain that accompanies pain? It was never true. We were all born to say.
We were all born the same. Great lyric.
It's a great lyric.
Tamagotchi, $9.99. Rolex price set to increase.
You know why? Because everybody stole them, especially after there's going to be a robbery. So then he'll report. What
are you talking about? You're answering a different question.
No, Rolex.
Look at the question. Rolex are going to raise their prices. Am I wrong? Sorry, excuse me. I'll step back. Explain what you mean.
Rolex price set to increase next month, according to Paul Thorpe.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a robbery, because that's all he reports on now is fucking Rolex robberies.
Okay. I'm sorry. I see what you mean now.
Rolex prices, mate. Listen, watch people. They've all been nicked. Prices are going sky high.
No, but official Rolex prices is what Tama means. And Paul Thorpe meant as well. Like every year or so, they raise their retail price. So apparently they're going to be hiked up on September 1st. I immediately texted my AD guy, who I've known now for a long time. And I said, is it true? And he goes, I haven't heard a word, and I think we would know, he said. He's been with them 22 years. He goes, I think we would know. Clickbait. Exactly. I put it up immediately on Instagram. I'm like, it's probably not true, but, you know, go ahead and believe Paul if you want. You know, Paul's disciples, my God. I think at this point they need to reconsider. But well, we'll see what happens. It could be true, you know. Just talking about it is just getting views. That's all.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
Everybody's jumping off of a Vespa and knocking somebody on the head for their Daytona.
Oh, well, that's so. I mean, the robberies is this is completely separate. This is Rolex raising their retail prices.
Right.
The other thing is robberies and the gray market. You have to separate those. You can't conflate those.
Okay.
I mean, you have to conflate them, or you have to separate them because it's vital. I mean, Paul Thorpe talking about Rolex prices going up from Rolex is different to talking about people getting robbed on the streets. Completely different thing, in fairness to Paul.
Yeah.
What he's talking about here is Rolex actually raising their actual retail price, an arbitrary price at this point because most people can't get any of the watches at that price. But anyway, it does affect things in the long run. You're just conflating the two because you're not in the Rolex game and you're like on the outside going, isn't
No,
it
it's all I
the
ever
same?
hear him talk about Rolex. All I ever hear is that he's just, talking about
Right.
people nicking all his clickbaity stuff. I saw a beautiful Rolex today. This guy came in with his sons, and he had a two-tone, like an older two-tone sub. And I looked at it and I said, and I felt very proud of myself. I went, when did you get that? Early 90s? He goes, I did. I said, is that a 16613? And he goes, it is. Fuck. I felt a little good because I'm getting my game up on subs and stuff because I caught a little bit of a hard on for them lately, and I especially love the old ones because I don't love the super cases. I don't like those. They're too boxy. But anyway, so Led Zeppelin, Kiss, U2, the Beatles, the Monkees. There are bands of New Kids on the Block. All the boy bands.
So I was going to talk about J-Lo hating me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. But are you a Virgo or you are?
Yeah, so that's clickbait.
Oh, yeah. That is.
And I'll admit when I make clickbait. So I said it in the thing, does J-Lo hate me? And some were texting me going, what the hell have you got to do with J-Lo? No,
Did you bang her?
J-Lo. No. So J-Lo had an audition for dancers for a new show. Jennifer Lopez, in case you don't know who I'm talking about. And all the dancers did a great job. And she came into the room and she said, are there any Virgos here? And the Virgos in the crowd, the crowd of dancers, held up their hands and they were whispered, thank you very much. We won't be needing you. Head home. She ejected all the Virgos from the room.
I don't get any of that shit. I think that's all hogwash. I mean,
So she's a big believer in all of that stuff. Mark Anthony, the biggest star in the Latin world
was a Virgo
for the past 10 or 20 years, is a Virgo, and she dated him for a while. So maybe something to do with that. She married him, yeah. And she's a Leo, which is, I mean, it's unremarkable that she's a Leo. The Leos dominate the performer world because Leos are very, if you believe in that stuff, Leos are very, forward, outspoken, love the attention, loudest person in the room at the party, and so on. That's the Leo character. So it's not surprising when you find Leos in the entertainment industry. Virgo comes right after Leo.
Yeah,
we're right after, because Leo is August, and we're I say we because I'm September 3rd. I'm a fucking Virgo. I land right in the center, if you believe in that stuff. And I have to say, I don't want to believe in that stuff. I think it's illogical and unscientific. But every time I read something about Virgos, I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking true.
I know.
Oh my God, it's true. Oh shit.
I mean, some of it is crazy. Like, I'm a Gemini and I am really a quintessential Gemini.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
You're two people.
Definitely. Definitely. Ask Paul.
Some people say the Gemini is the snake.
Well, that I'm not.
Are you a snake?
Never.
Like that, you'll turn from one person to another, your own
No, I'm two people in the garden. I'm a very outgoing, gregarious, friendly person, but I also have moments where I just absolutely need to be on my own, and I can handle that very well. But I'm not. My character doesn't change as a person. I don't turn on people. No, I don't have an evil streak. I don't. I wish I did. I don't have one. Like I said, I don't hold grudges. I can get I get hot-headed and furious about something, and like this morning I'm watching Here's a Right Turn watching the news this morning at 7:00, and I sent you the clip. There was this girl, this 6-year-old girl, and she's doing her chores. She's putting out the garbage in front of her house, and some guy walks up to her and just like kind of touches her, and then grabs her by the scruff and tries to cart her off, and she screams bloody murder, and he drops her and runs. She runs in the house, and the dad comes running out of the house, chases the guy to a used car lot, finally is able to kind of quadrant him off, kind of block him, calls the cops, they arrest him. And I was like, if I was that guy, I absolutely would not have called the cops. I just would have killed him.
Right.
Because the rage in me would have been,
Yeah, what was he up to? And
he was trying to abduct my daughter. I mean, my
sick.
God, I can't think
Sick.
of anything worse than that.
Yeah.
Fuck. So that's that I'm capable of that in the moment, but
I think most people are in the moment.
I would hope they are. I would hope so.
I think in the moment, a lot of people are capable.
And don't the French and Italian have laws protecting in the moment crimes of passion? They're the only
Crimes
two
of
countries-
passion, I mean, it's a part of the law. I mean, it exists in the United States too. It's not protecting, it's just another it's like a moment of insanity, a temporary insanity. I think that exists in America too, where you go, look, he's not innocent, but he did walk in on his wife with his best friend, and he did lose his shit. So rather than send him to the electric chair, let's give him 21 years or something. You know, there is an exception for people in mania. You know, it happens in courts where guys kill. You know, the thing you're talking about does happen, by the way, where a man finds out that someone was after his daughter, or someone was after his wife, or someone was after someone he loved, and he goes out and kills him. And then he's up for murder, because that's a second crime, a separate crime. And then there are certain things that are allowed, because it's like, well, you know, this is like extraordinary circumstances. All of these things go before the judge. Now, if you're looking for, I was told by a lawyer one time in New York, if you're looking for justice in the courtroom, good luck searching for it, because it's a roll of the dice. But I don't think it's only over here that people consider the crimes of passion. I think they're everywhere. I could be wrong. We should
I thought in France,
on.
like if you kill your husband's lover, it's understandable. You know, of course,
it's sexy.
Yeah, Dominique, of course, she walked in and she had the knife and she saw Jean-Claude there with Madeleine, of course. So she took the tart. She had a beautiful tart, and it was lemon, of course, it's from the boulangerie, fabulous. So she took the plate, smashed it to 1,000 pieces, and went up to Madeleine and slit her throat. Of course. C'est vrai. C'est vrai. Wait. Understand, okay.
You are free. Libertà.
Jean-Claude, I told you I would kill that bitch. And she did. And she gets off of jail.
I love that idea. She had a thought. She was making a thought.
First, they had coffee, of course. You know, they made love, because it was between 5 and 7. And they made love. You're not allowed to ask your lover where they are from 5 to 7. So afterwards, wait. So I spake. So then she walks into the apartment, into the bedroom, and she sees that they are. It is now 7:15. He's past the curfew. So she says, Jean-Claude, why are you still with Madeleine? I'm gonna kill the bitch. And she does. It's like they're allowed. Anyway.
You're allowed to kill the puta.
She is just a whore. Andrew Volkovich and he said it's Walkowicz. That's how he said it.
Walkowicz. What are Tauruses known for? My daughter is a Taurus. That's May, right? Tauruses are known for their creativity, their planning, and they apparently, a lot of Taurus or Tauri or what's the plural of a Taurus, make a lot of money. I'm like, go for it, girl.
Wow.
I mean, this is so unscientific. This is very hard for me to go along with. All I know is that years ago, I went to Rome. And I wandered into this is 20 years ago. I wandered into an art exhibition. It was Gauguin.
Hmm.
And I didn't know that Gauguin did a full series on the zodiac. And the one that was on exhibition was the descriptions of the Virgo.
Hmm.
And I'm there looking at all the art, enjoying Gauguin. And I see this, must have been 12 or 15 small images of the description of the Virgo. And I land like, I'm not a Virgo with a landing on one side or the other. I'm dead center of Virgo. I'm espresso with no sugar, no milk, no forgiveness at all, just straight shit.
No forgiveness.
And I looked at it. I was white when I came out of there. I was white in the face, going, Jesus Christ, he just read my insides. He just told me what I had for lunch 5 minutes ago. Like, he read my mind. It was disturbing to me. And I've often had this conversation with very scientific, very brilliant people, cynical people who I tend to gravitate to in general. And, it's like, what are you going to do? It doesn't make any sense that there could be only 12 types of people. But man.
Well, there's a lot of hogwash in there too, though. I mean, there's a lot of expounding upon. I mean, there's basic traits, and I don't know. Look at all you can do with musical notes. Look at all the music we got with.
That's a very good point. That's a brilliant counter argument. You can make a lot of different music with the same 12 notes.
Yeah.
Excellent counter argument, man. Thank you, Andrew, by the way, for that.
Thank you very much. I want to look up Virgo traits now to see if that's 10 key Virgo traits. Let me look this up.
Let's do it. I'll sit back. Blondie will be watching, go, yeah, that's him. He's a stubborn fucker. Yeah.
Virgo is an earth sign, which is demonstrated in their practical and logical tendencies. Yes, I would say that's correct. Some of their best qualities are because they're such thoughtful, well-grounded people. Hardworking. They aren't afraid to throw themselves into a project. Well, that's you. No matter what it takes, and may even go for some sleepless nights. Virgos throw themselves into creativity as much as they do other passions. Their creativity is always flowing, and they use mediums like art, dance, and writing as an outlet. Yeah. While no one is infinitely patient, it says Virgos are more patient. You're very patient. I will say that. No, I'm not very patient. That's good. You're willing to see the best in people and willing to give people just enough. I guess that's enough. Giving.
I'm a three strikes guy. Like, I'll give you, fuck up once, I'll warn you. Fuck up second time, I'll warn you again. Fuck up third time, I'm like, goodbye forever. Keep going.
Critical. Here's the negative traits. Critical. Virgos are hard workers and great at what they do, but they have high standards which also make them overly judgmental and critical towards others. Sometimes. I mean,
sometimes.
Critical, yes.
Like you just described me.
I did, but I don't think you're ever unkind in your critiques. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. Stubbornness. Virgos can be especially set in their ways. Well, hello. Since they're so dedicated, they often think that they know best, and they're reluctant to change because they're doing it right anyway.
Sounds like it was written by a Virgo as well.
Maybe. Overthinkers. As critical thinkers, Virgos can also be chronic overthinkers. Their minds are so busy all the time, constantly juggling the things that they need to do or get ahead or to finish. It usually means they overthink their emotions and relationships as well.
Everything. This is why I drink and smoke. Drink heavily.
Picky. Again, Virgos are pretty set in their ways. They also run the risk of being critical about others' choices when they're not in the best frame of the Virgo mind. That's a very abstract thing to say. Virgo traits in relationships. Should I go there?
Go for it.
Romantic. Virgos thrive on deep and intellectual connections.
Yes.
Bingo. They are supportive and loyal romantic partners and take a deep interest in their loved one's interest and life. A Virgo will genuinely make an effort to get to know their partner's interest and their mind, and is subtle in expressing their feelings and showing their affections.
Oh my God. I observe Anyone I'm romantically interested in, I observe them like a radar scanning. I'm like a MRI machine. I'll go through what the hell this person is built of and what makes them happy and sad. Absolutely.
Wow. As naturally shy and reserved signs as Virgos might be, they have a hard time opening up and making new friends. However,
Absolutely.
once they're amazing friends and should always be the first call for anyone in need.
Absolutely.
And if you needed,
Dirk, you call me tomorrow and you go, I need $50,000
dude, I know,
immediately.
dude,
You know it's it.
I know it. Yeah, and and I could call you at 4 o'clock in the morning. You
I
always pick up
don't
the phone.
care. Yeah.
No,
I don't care what it's
me
for.
neither. Me neither.
Right.
I don't need to know. I love
I
when
don't need
people
to know.
feel. Isn't it funny when people who are close to you, if they need something, they feel like they need to tell you why?
Yeah.
And
Don't tell me why. I don't care. There's
I
the
don't-
situation. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all taken.
Like I had a guy who I really like at work, and he's a waiter, and I'm bartending, and he goes, "Can I have a glass of ice? Because I needed to make a soy latte." I was like, "I don't care why you need it.
Just ask me, can I have
Just,
a glass?
Can I have a
of
glass? Why do I need to know what you need? You're gonna go upstairs and you're gonna make a latte.
It's like when I get a call from a friend or family member or anything. Hey man, can I come over to your? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, because I don't care. It doesn't matter. There's, I set up the couch for you. There's coffee in the morning, whatever you need. I don't care what's happening. I'm here to help. That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We all get in shit constantly. So who am I to what do you fucking tell me why?
Right. This is a fun little thing here.
Well, keep going. I want to hear.
That's as far as it goes. It's not huge.
What?
It's not huge. That was it.
Okay.
Unsurprisingly,
Well,
Virgos make great employees. Their critical thinking and analytical skills mean that they're always looking for the next big thing and how to improve their work. Virgos have to beware of their critical tendencies at work and make sure they have their filters on so that they don't say things that they can't take back and jeopardize opportunities.
I do that every day.
There you go. And that's it. This is from prepscholar.com.
It's scary though. It makes no sense, but it all matches up. I remember I did a job interview for Intel in Dublin years ago, many years ago. My mother was like, "You're an artist, musician, and this is there's no money in it unless you're super famous. So go get a real job. You're all into tech. Go, and the commercial thing came up in the local newspaper. Intel are looking for staff because Intel moved to Ireland because of tax breaks.
Everyone moved to Ireland.
Everyone did. Facebook, everybody.
Apple,
Google.
big time.
Yeah, Apple, huge. Yeah.
Huge.
And
DeLorean.
I did. Really? Didn't know that.
All DeLoreans were made in Ireland.
I didn't know that. So I went to the interview. And it started with the aptitude test, like the IQ test, a string of numbers this long and another one almost identical, but one number is different. Spot the number, all that shit, visuospatial ability. And I crushed it, of course. And I went through that stage to the next one. I can't remember. It was all these questions and mathematical shit and so on. I crushed that. And then it went on to personality test. And that's when I failed. Because they didn't want an individual.
Oh, they wanted a drone.
They wanted a drone.
They wanted
someone who would just follow orders. And they asked me certain questions, and I didn't give the right answers. They're like, "What if you thought an idea, a plan wasn't right, and your team thought it was right? What would you do?" And they wanted to hear, "Well, I'll do what the team does." And instead, I was like, "I'll revolt." I'll plan a revolution. No, I didn't say anything like that, but it was that's what they interpreted it from, and that's why I lost the job.
Wow.
And thank God I did.
You should have said, "We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technical distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile."
Resistance is futile. They were just like, we don't want this guy in there thinking he has new ideas.
No, you're the collective, because everything you come up with becomes theirs. You know how that works.
In the
Any
Borg?
innovation you come, well, not in the Borg, it doesn't matter.
I don't
'Cause
know
you're just
whether you're
part of the
talking
club.
about the Borg.
I'm saying
or
if you, well,
Intel.
the Borg and working for Intel is the same thing. So
Right.
if you are one of the Borg working for Intel, say you come up with a new kind of, 802.11, whatever, fuck, some kind of protocol, they own it because you worked there and you invented it while you were there. You actually have
Yeah.
to sign a thing that says anything I come up with while I'm employed here belongs to Intel.
belongs to them.
And you do it gladly because resistance is futile.
Yeah.
Your
They
technical.
just didn't want
underground-
anyone with individual ideas. They wanted someone to just go along. They wanted a team of people who could follow protocol, like THX 1138.
Sure.
Stay in your lane, stay in your bounds.
Yeah.
Do not have ideas.
Every dystopian future space world thing is that.
Yeah,
They all are.
yeah,
they're all that.
yeah.
even,
Having any feelings or any ideas is not good. So, so I didn't get the job. Anyway, I just find so you're a Gemini. Let's read the Gemini. I want to hear the Gemini from the same site, from the same exact site.
Okay, hold on.
I don't want a different interpretation.
Right. Okay. Let's see. One moment, please. Prep.
If you want to send it to me, and I'll read it to you.
Yeah, that's
if
fine.
it's unfair.
Hold on.
You want to do it in the private chat? If it's unfair,
it'd be weird.
Yeah, you're reading your own stuff that's syrupy, right?
Yeah. There it is.
It is scary though. Horoscopes are a little silly because I feel like anybody's horoscope can be read to anyone. You've been feeling down lately. Oh, well, that applies to most people's. It's like the Virgos go, "Oh yeah, you're right," and the Geminis go, "Oh, you're right." It's like you can't say you've been feeling down lately. That's
I hear you
manipulating
feeling
people
down. Well, I can ease your pain, get you on your feet again.
Relax.
We'll need some information. First.
Just the basic
Basic.
facts.
Can you show me where it hurts? Okay, here we go. Yeah, I sent it to you in a private chat.
In the private, look, you're using the private chat.
I
Look at
used the
you.
private chat.
All grown up, tits and all.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, can I do that?
Okay. So let me read that. Gemini strengths. Geminis are easygoing and adjustable. Hello.
Pretty much.
They're willing to try anything at least once.
Except
do not
drugs.
Play truth. Except
drugs
drugs.
and anal.
I know a few Geminis are up for anything. So do not play truth or dare with them. You're going to lose.
Okay. You will lose.
They'll be
because-
happy to go along with any plan and will likely plan some fun adventures. Oh, God, you're a party animal. Your craziest stories will involve your Gemini friends. Ooh, boy. Outgoing. Geminis are typically enthusiastic, social beings. They're the life of the party. Talkative. You're not talkative at all, Dark.
No, I could talk a dog off a meat truck.
But not annoyingly chatty. That's true, too.
If I did cocaine, I'd be the worst person ever.
Yeah, because you'd be annoyingly chatty. They always have something interesting to say. They're never just having a boring conversation about the weather. They take hard left turns. Sorry, I added
doesn't
that
say
part.
that.
Sorry, I added that part.
It was like-
It doesn't say that. They're usually
It probably will
partaking
say
in
that.
deep conversations about life. That's so you. Gemini's make it, and that's so Colin and my brother Aaron, my older brother, very Gemini. Deep conversations about life. These are parts of their characters. Geminis make great wingmen, wing women, or wing people because they easily strike up conversations with strangers. Be careful, though; they might outshine you. Ooh. Intelligence. The reason Geminis always have an interesting thing to say is because they're highly intelligent. Well, that's okay. That's complimentary, but okay, that's fine.
compliment. What if we're mentally disabled?
Yeah,
And
they're
Gemini?
inquisitive. So
Yes.
they love to learn. You
Yes.
often find Geminis with a book in their hands. You read like 4 books a week, you
I
maniac.
read.
My brother worked in a bookstore
Yeah.
and read books in the for sale department, like the books that people were giving away. He would fucking read everything.
Yeah. I'll read everything. I never have a book not in the queue. And since I switched to iPad reading, forget about it. Next.
They're also clever and love to partake in witty banter. Can we stop it right now? Can we quit? Can we quit this right now?
Let's just change the show to witty banter.
It's not the eyelashes, it's witty banter.
Welcome to witty banter.
So think
everyone.
carefully before trying to debate a Gemini. You will probably lose.
Or even, as Paul says, even when I'm wrong, I'm so convincing people think that I'm right.
I have a bit of that skill too.
You do have that skill.
I do. So Gemini weakness is indecisive. Due to their intelligence, Geminis can be overly analytical, which can lead to indecisiveness. Don't ask your Gemini friends to pick up a dinner spot or a Netflix movie. They'll agonize for hours over what they'll choose.
Yep.
They can also be anxious or nervous about making decisions, especially big decisions like moving or changing characters. Dating Geminis can be difficult because they struggle with commitment. I'll explain this more in the Gemini love section. Okay, this guy's interesting. Impulsive. Are you impulsive? No. Flip side of it, adaptability of Geminis is that can be they can be a little impulsive because they're so flexible. They can change their minds in a heartbeat. Is that true? Unreliable. You're not unreliable.
I am not unreliable.
Due to their own impulsiveness and inability to commit, Geminis can be flighty. Now, listen. Listen, you're not flighty. But a Gemini I know is a singer in my band, and I learned a phrase in Italian years ago called persona farfalla. And the farfalla is the butterfly. He'll fly away.
Yeah.
And I remember going out to see him in Dublin. He was like, hey, you want to come out and hang out and have beers in Dublin? I was like, sure. And I realized within 5 minutes of meeting him that he was after some broad, or he was, I don't know, chasing tail. And he fucking left me at the bar because he met some broad and he fucking disappeared. And I thought, that's just a farfalla. It's the butterfly. It lands in your hand. It lands on your arm, your hand, and just flies away. You can't depend on, they're not hanging out with you for the night. He'll be attracted to something brighter and more fluffy.
But isn't there a kind of a bro code, though, when you're out with a guy and your mates and they get a hookup? It's like, see you later. Isn't that generally?
Bro, I'm gonna bring her. Yeah, that's fine, but it's different to flighty and farfalla. Yeah. That's a little different. It's like, oh man,
those are traits I dislike.
We're gonna go somewhere else. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Let me know how much I owe you or whatever, for the beers. Or that's different. If you make plans with a Gemini, beware. They might cancel on you at the last second. There it is, man.
That is definitely true.
Do you do that? You cancel?
I want to do that. I don't do it, and I think I've learned I have done that, but I don't do it anymore because I've made a commitment to do it, and I do it. But I want to, and I've actually got the page up at the same time, and the next thing is absolutely the most true of all things. And where it says
they aren't mean-spirited, they're just a little irresponsible. Geminis try to avoid responsibility and boring activities at all costs. Well, you definitely do that.
I do everything.
Like, I don't want to come to your stupid birthday party.
I'll do anything to not do that shit. I mean,
I would too. This is
it's like you're 40 or 41. Birthday parties are for children. Can we just have a drink the next time? I mean,
yeah, like
I'm having a party.
End at 16 years old. After that, it's like, forget it.
I don't enjoy parties either. I don't like parties.
Don't count on them to help you pack or help you move, but count on them in for a fun night out. That's definitely con. Nosy. The flip side of Gemini's intelligence and curiosity is that they can be nosy. They want to know everything about everyone. Sounds like this writer doesn't like Geminis to be, but anyway, it can be exciting when they encourage you to share your deepest secrets, or when they're giving you the lowdown on everything on everyone else. But be careful before telling your dirty secrets to a Gemini. You never know who they might tell them to. Woo!
Everyone tells me everything.
Right.
I don't ever blab it. Maybe being Gemini, but also being a bartender for years and years and years. People just gravitate towards a good ear.
You're a sounding board.
Yeah, sounding board, and I don't ever blab it. But I do have a weird streak, a surveillance, private eye kind of secret thing where I will vet somebody to a degree that when I meet somebody, I will fucking research the fuck out of them before, like even somebody who wants to be my friend on Facebook, or I will do like crazy geeky computer things to find out who the fuck they are.
Really?
Yeah. And when I think somebody I'm up to is up to something bad, I'll do that too. I do have a little bit of that research detective game that my sister excels at. My sister is amazing at finding out all the information on people. It's incredible. She should work for the FBI.
But that's kind of ugly, though, don't you think?
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
I mean, what's ugly? Ugly is rape and murder, and I don't know.
Okay, rape and murder is a different level. But I feel like everyone has some sort of shit,
I mean, I couldn't be arsed about people like, hey, this is Petey. Well, hey, Petey. I couldn't give a fuck about, unless Petey wants to get together on a venture or join a trip or something like that. Then I would want to know everything about this guy before I allow him into the circle or whatever. We have a very, very tight little circle here. It's not that big. You got to earn it. I kind of feel like, because this has been a curated little gang of assassins for quite a while, 20 plus years now, and I like it the way it is. But a lot of people have been trying. A lot of people want to get in. Like, I want to jump on your trip. You got, because we go on vacations a lot, and they're like, oh, that looked great. I want in on that. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's like it's a private club.
I mean, there's friends and close friends and family, sure, jump on board, but like then there's like people like, I saw your stuff on Instagram and Facebook, and I want to do that. I'm like, well, here's where we went. Go ahead and check it out.
Zvonimir, Zvonimir Bonanza. Any teasers on upcoming vids on my channel? Yes, I'm doing a thing on Venice. Interesting things that you may not know about Venice that only a Venetian or a resident here would know. It's funny, and Lenny's in there, so it's gonna be. I'm just talking about funny shit in Venice, like interesting stuff. I got up at 8 a.m. this morning to film the guys doing the raccolta, the trash pickup, because I think people, they may not know that how it works in this city. There's no such thing as sleeping in Venice. You got to wake up and put your trash out.
Now, we were talking about that the other day, because there was a time many, many years ago where people used to complain about Venice being dirty.
Yeah, it's gone.
Obviously solved that. Now,
Raccolta is 4 years old.
Oh, it's 4 years
young.
old.
Very young.
And how many days a week is it?
Every day except for Sunday.
It's every day.
Every day they wake you up. They're so funny.
They actually ring your bell.
They ring your bell.
So they ring everyone's bell.
They shout. They shout. We're going. We're leaving soon. It's gonna rain soon. We're leaving, and then they ring your bell. And when I hit my little, I have a key symbol. I have a bunch of symbols by my door. I have a key that opens the door downstairs. It's an electronic door. And then if I hit it twice, they go, "A posto," like it's taken care of. We got it. We got in. They'll go in, they'll grab the trash that we left downstairs, and then they'll pull the door. a lot of people go down and hand the shit over to them by hand. And Lydia, she's over in Castello at the moment with my other apartment, my second apartment in fucking Venice. Long story. She said
I find it fascinating.
She said that some of the old ladies in the area, because they can't exactly zip down the stairs, you know, it's not. More than half of the inhabitants of Venice are senior citizens. So a lot of the old women, you know what they do? They don't have much trash. They have a couple of banana skins things, you know, and they have a little trash bag, and they hang it at the window, and the guys down below, they wheel it along and they drop it down.
Well, they do.
That's the raccolta, and that's how we keep our streets clean. So I was filming earlier today, and I was like, this is how we keep these beautiful streets of this beautiful open air museum, because that's what it is.
Sure.
You know, clean and beautiful for you guys to walk around and enjoy. And then I show the trash that the tourists leave. Like, you guys are the problem. Yeah.
The pizza boxes.
The pizza boxes. I got very Virgo about it.
Well, I don't blame you, because I would love, if I was the mayor of Venice, I would institute a shoot the graffiti artist on site, because
graffiti.
I am so tired of seeing these beautiful buildings and it's not even beautiful artistic graffiti, because I understand that does exist. It is some jackass with a paint pen who just scratches his name onto the side of somebody's home, and it's rampant in Italy, not just Venice, everywhere in Italy. And I don't know why they haven't tried to crack down on that, but it's hideous. The only place you don't see that shit, Trieste.
Trieste doesn't have much of that problem. So let me show you a little video here. These guys were fined, and our mayor said they were imbeciles, and they're going to be banned from the city.
Oh yeah, these guys are great.
These guys were doing their little surfing thing on their little surfing, whatever, motorized surfing mobiles, whatever they are.
They're like automatic surfboards.
That's under the Academia. Look.
Yeah, it's Academia Bridge. Yeah,
right there. That's near my gaff. Look at these guys. They were hit. They got €1,600 fine each.
Oh, what are the rules there in regard to public access to the canals? 0?
You cannot go on the canal. This is not Disneyland. Right. You can't just fucking go wherever you want. This is the Canal of Venice. There is no other Venice. Look at them. They see water, and the two of them have phones in their hands, like, oh, it's for their TikTok.
Look where they are there. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That was just the Centurion Palace.
Yeah, right there. Exactly. Well spotted. Well spotted. So the mayor here, Bernardo, he's like, they're imbeciles and they should be hit with the heaviest law.
They should. I'm so tired of the morons doing that stuff. The graffiti and the garbage and that kind of, it's like destroying the
there are heavy laws here in the canal. First of all, there's a lot of shit going on. Like there were laws with the gondolieri, the guys on the gondolas, and other boats have to let them pass. There's precedent laws, ancient laws, old laws, and the only guys who can. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
I hope their tetanus shots are up to date.
Who said that?
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I hope their tetanus shots.
Very funny.
Yeah, because it's disgusting water. You don't want to fall into that water. It's gross. But also don't play with our city. This is not a joke. We're not messing around. This is an ancient, beautiful city. Cultural center.
Like you said,
just
it's a museum
for your TikTok.
They were Americans, right?
I don't know.
They had to be. They're probably
for sure they were on their TikTok going.
For sure. They're like from South SoCal. Oh my God, we're gonna tell like Venice.
Check it out. We're in Venice.
We're gonna hang 10 on the canals, on the canales.
Well, they got
2
hit
to
with a
the
fine. They're
spot.
probably going to be banned from the city.
That's crazy. Imagine
Well,
getting
those guys in Rome that threw their bird bicycles down or their motorcycles down, they were hit with 25,000.
What did they do?
They
little scooters?
they were using those scooter things,
Yeah.
and they threw them down because those things turn off when you get to heavily populated areas, because you can't have somebody like fucking around, like, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, it could be dangerous. Let me look up the right thing here. It could be dangerous. You know, you could.
I used that
damage-
all over Athens and had the blast of all blasts.
I did
loved
too when I was filming Verona. That was the only way I was able to film so much of Verona. I was able to rent those little bicycles and fly around from place to place and film that quite enormous city, actually. But you get to certain areas and your bike tells you, I have to slow down now because you're in an area where it's heavily populated, or I have to turn off because, like, you're literally, it's dense here and you can't go around a fucking, you know, electric motorcycle. Well, these two American tourists, they went on the Piazza Spagna in Rome and their bikes turned off. And she, in her infinite wisdom, fucked her bike down the steps and cracked some of the steps. They're banned from Rome. They got 26,000 on the Spanish steps. Yeah. Let me see. I think it was bird, bike, Spanish steps. And yeah, 26 grand they were hit with. Because this is historic. I've got it. You want to see it? Here we go.
There are so many laws governing the Spanish steps to begin with. You're not even allowed to sit on them anymore.
Yeah, you can't sit. You can't loiter anymore.
No,
there's no more loitering.
You know, that used to be a place where Italian men used to pick up old ladies. Gigolos. Yeah, for years. Yeah.
Cost damage for $26,000. The video shows the unidentified woman, who Italian authorities said was a U.S. tourist aged 28, hurling the rented e-scooter down the steps in a fit of apparent frustration.
Look.
Cops caught up with the 28-year-old,
Classy
as well
girl.
as an also unidentified male
She
companion,
throws it down. Look.
who is
She's
seen
drunk.
in the footage recklessly
No, she's
wheeling
not
his own
drunk.
scooter down the storied stairs.
She's angry.
The pair were reportedly fined $430 by police, who viewed further security footage of the incident. Cops said Tuesday the damage sustained to the famous marble stairway as a result of the woman's actions will cost at least $26,000 to repair. The pair are now banned from ever returning to the famous monument, according to local
She
authorities.
just lost her shit. She's like, I ain't fucking pushing this. No longer. You know what that is? That's lack of culture. That's what that is.
Why are they both dressed so in white like that?
Yeah, they're very white dressed, right?
What is that?
She
Both
ain't
of them
drunk.
are-
She ain't
Spit
drunk.
it
She's
out.
just angry.
The video shows the
She's just
unidentified.
angry. Look, she's like, I gotta pick this thing up. The guy is like, let's wheel it down, honey. And she's like, I ain't got time for this. And she fucks it down the steps. You know what, darling? You're in a place of high
We're
culture
Americans.
here. Where is your culture and education?
You'd see that whatever chunk just went flying.
Yeah. It was probably of the bike. Honestly, the steps were probably just heavily scratched, but it doesn't matter. It's the Spanish steps. It's a historic place as opposed to your house in Detroit or wherever the fuck you come from. Like, I'm sorry, but like, look at the pair of them. Like, are you kidding me? She isn't exactly thinking of the culture of Italy. Somehow Italy came up on their stupid fucking map for tourism, and she's like,
She's a brat.
yeah, she's a brat. Well, she got her $26,000 fine. She is now banned from Rome.
As she should be.
Yeah.
As she should be. I mean, you can't pull that. Imagine if you pulled that shit at the Vatican, you'd be arrested immediately. You would be jailed. Imagine if you did that in Dubai or Singapore.
Well, in Dubai, if you fucking kiss a woman on the streets, you're getting arrested. But that's a whole other level. we have religious freedom here in Italy. Believe it or not, the place of the Vatican. There's religious freedom and there's cultural freedom that they don't have a lot of in Dubai. You can get drunk on the streets here in Italy. You can have a glass of wine. You can't necessarily in Dubai. This is a somewhat free culture here, and it is one of the most beautiful cultures in the world. It's the reason why fucking people come here in the first place. You're gonna throw your bike down the steps because you ain't, you don't wanna. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's awful. It's awful. Uncultured nonsense. She just set race and culture and so on back a few years just with that video right there. Bless her soul.
This is why people hate Americans in Europe, because of behavior like that. That's why. True. And it's very sad.
They're banned from Rome now. I didn't know that you could ban people from cities.
I love that.
Yeah, like,
well, I mean, they could get in, obviously. They
can, but they're technically
they could ban them from Italy. That's easy to do at the border.
Yeah, they can walk into Rome, of course.
But I guess if they land in Rome, they won't be allowed in.
Yeah, I think if they're at the airport, they might be stopped. Yeah, they'll come up on a list.
So what will they do? Put them in a car and say, go to Treviso?
No, they'll say, get back on the next plane. Probably. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We should get them on the show and ask them what their motivation was. Let's reach out.
Do we want to know what her motivation was?
Her motivation is
I ain't got time for this. That's what her motivation was.
Well, she's
real
deep.
deep.
Come up with. I guarantee you they won't pay either. They're probably back in the States and they'll be like, "Fuck it."
I mean, paying no bill from those Italians.
Those Italians. We got, Italy's famous for having these radar traps all over the place. When you're on the autostrada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we got a ticket somewhere around Bergamo. We were going to visit Paul's cousins in Landriano, and we got a ticket. And it's funny because it kept showing up in the mail without the ticket in it, and we were like, "What the hell is this?" And then we got a bill for like $1,200. He was able to finally call somebody and negotiate and say we never got the actual. It was an error on their part, but there's a lot of fines going on there. They fine a lot of people. So, but that's a crime what those people just did.
It didn't suit her, and they wound up in the wrong spot. He got, to his credit, he carefully walked down the thing,
Yeah,
but she wasn't having any of it. Oh, God bless her. I wonder what else she wasn't having any of that week or that month.
She's probably just upset that there's no Dave and Buster's there.
It's an attitude. Well, as Ray, this is racist.
She couldn't find McDonald's.
She couldn't find McDonald's, right?
That's very.
It's like, I'm sorry, but like American. Fucking like, I'm sorry. It's true. Fucking true.
I'll never forget.
Hungry for McDonald's, and she was like, "I'm not pushing this thing anymore." It's an attitude. Where do people get attitude? Irish. We don't have that shit.
It's entitlement.
We're apologetic. The Irish go around the world. We're apologetic wherever we go.
I'm sorry. Oh,
gee, oh my God! I'm so sorry. Did I get in your way?
She threw a wobbly. It's great. I love that.
She threw a wobbly. I love that phrase. Yeah, that's something I use all the time because all I ever see in my life is wobblies. Wobblies getting thrown left, right, and center. Yeah. She threw a wobbly.
Who is Plenty of Time? I don't know you, Plenty of Time. Who are you? You got some great comments.
Plenty of Time. It looks like a girl as well. Isn't that funny? We have a girl.
We have a girl. There's a hen in the rooster house.
Girl.
Yeah. Anyway. I remember seeing the first time I was in Venice was 99, and I remember we were on Vaporetto, and Paul said, "Don't look over there," and it was a McDonald's, and I went, "Oh,
there's one here in Venice."
Well, I don't know where it was in 99.
It's on the Strada Nuova.
Well, this was I could see it from the Grand Canal.
So you saw a Burger King?
No, it was a McDonald's, but it was in 99. It was a long time ago.
Things have changed.
Maybe it's moved. Yeah.
There's a Burger King right across from the train station.
Oh.
And then there's one over by Rialto, and there's one McDonald's that's over between Rialto and other stuff.
Yeah.
But
Burger King is the preferred choice. It seems.
Is it?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see
guess.
Burger King a lot more often than I see McDonald's in Europe, which is interesting. And thank God you don't see Starbucks. Is there a Starbucks in Italy? No, right?
No, and apparently Domino's closed. They
Yeah,
tried
wow.
to sell their pizza
was
here,
brilliant.
and it just
Yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah. Why don't they open up a California pizza kitchen there? Or what's the other dumb thing? The Pasta Lovers or whatever is the American chain from? What is it called? The big stupid American Olive Garden. Why don't they open up an Olive Garden in fucking?
So if they open a place like that, it's for tourists that come here and just don't know where to go, so they just fall back on the default. So I understand that in Milan or Rome, you can have a Starbucks. There probably are Starbucks in Rome. Can we look that up? Is there Starbucks in Italy?
There has.
I mean,
to be
why
a Starbucks
on earth someone would want Starbucks coffee in a place where coffee is our culture here? I don't know, but I'm sure the tourists like it, but it should be near the airport or in the heavily tourist areas where it's, like something they'll go for, because the Italians aren't going for it. The Italians like a cheeseburger. They like a McDonald's cheeseburger.
They do?
It's tasty. Oh yeah, it's tasty.
What
I mean,
is it?
cheeseburger isn't their thing anyway, so they'll take anybody's cheeseburger.
Starbucks.
They're not going to eat a pizza from fucking Domino's. It's slime to them. It's like bad pizza. That they have 100 other options that are bad but better than Domino's. It's silly that Domino's even tried that shit, I think.
Oh, here we go. Let me make that a tab. Hold on. Right? Let me do that. I never do that, and I really should. I gotta start.
Yeah, do it.
Being a solid citizen. New tab, and then go Starbucks. Starbucks.
You're not able to share it. You need help.
I will. No, I'm just I gotta get my Celex on this. Let's see. Here it is. Okay.
Moment of silence. Everybody can go to the restroom, right?
No. Right. So now I go back here and I go share, right? And I do share screen, share a tab, right? Chrome tab. Here we go. And there it is. Ta-da!
There you're learning.
Starbucks celebrates 1 year in Milan, plans to open in more Italian cities.
When is this from?
2019.
Okay, well,
1 year.
pre-COVID.
Look at the site of it. Look at that picture. My
Wow,
God.
that's kind of an impressive looking place.
It's very steampunky.
I would imagine that when they opened it, they were like aware of where they're opening a place like this. And they're like, shit, we better be high standard. Italians love, when they love espresso coffee, their favorite flavor profile is chocolate. Whereas in Brooklyn, New York, the favorite flavor profile tends to be citrus orange for the fancy joints. Okay. So for the artisans and so on, right? In Italy, the profile, the flavor profile people like is chocolate in espresso. So you better be careful about like what you're choosing as your coffee of choice and so on.
I mean, I'm an espresso drinker, and I like my coffee to taste like coffee. I don't like any of that sweet, savory, bollocksy, fruity note crap. Like we have Stumptown, and it's red, and it's so sour. I think a mocha or a chocolate profile is closer to coffee than those other flavors. So
Right.
I don't know if you're going to be able to I mean, the one problem with Starbucks is that it's a paper culture. You walk in there and they give you your coffee in a paper cup with your name on it and you go. Whereas in Italy, the culture is to go up to a counter, get a ceramic cup, have your coffee, stand there, talk to people, and then leave when you're done. It is not a to-go coffee culture there. So, and I hope that doesn't do that. Having said that, where I'm in Long Island City, used to live here. They just I ran into a couple of friends in the neighborhood, and they told me about a new Italian cafe, and I was like, "Well, really? Like how Italian?" Well, I went and I found it. It's in the new development all the way at the end, and it's called Santa Chiara, and it is a actual place where you go and sit down and get a porcelain mug or a porcelain espresso, what is the word for that? The little cups, demi-tasse. And it was great. They have Italian pastries and it felt like you were in Italy. It was fantastic. And I was like, I hope this catches on. She goes, oh, a lot of people come in and they want to go, but we don't do that here. I was like, oh, I like you.
Right.
Have the coffee here. They say, have the coffee here and then go. And people
that's
are like,
that's very Italian. Yeah, they don't take the coffee to go. They have it.
Yeah, they have
because it doesn't take long because they want an espresso and they shoot it and they have a small conversation with the barista and then they leave.
It takes 8 years to get a coffee at Starbucks or one of these sweet leaf places because the guys, all the hipsters, are they're playing the Velvet Underground or some new electronica. And you can't tell if it's they, them, whatever. Everybody's so fucking chic, and it's a girl with a beard and a guy with a skirt.
With a beard, a guy with a skirt.
And it's like, well, we have a really great passion fruit profile macchiato. I'm like, I don't want that. I just want a double espresso, straight up, nothing.
I'll just take a coffee, please.
I just want coffee. And
they don't have a problem with that in this country. They don't ask for coffee flavored things. Like it's coffee. But the culture of sitting down and enjoying a coffee is in Venice it exists, but it's more of a Trieste thing and more of an Austrian thing to sit down and spend a longer time with your coffee. The Italians, they stand at the bar, they shout at one another, they shoot their coffee like a drug, and then they walk away.
Welcome. I have a mug here because it was iced coffee, but it is Lavazza. I bought that. We went to the Milan Expo in 2015. It's a World's Fair, and it was my birthday, June 15th, and I was so not interested in going. I was being dragged to this thing. Classic Gemini. I did everything in my power to try to get out of going to this thing, thinking it's going to be shit. Of course, it was one of the most mind-blowing experiences of my life. I will never forget going to every single country in the world had a padiglione or a pavilion to show off their technology, their culture, their wares, all the stuff. So you'd go in there and Russia had vodka and Kenya had coffee and Ireland had Guinness, and it was amazing food. Great. So the Italia pavilion, what did they have? Ely coffee. And that's where I had a shakerato for the very first time. And everybody was there doing this, walking up, and it was free. So everybody was walking up and doing this. Slug and leave. Boop. Dump the shot and leave. At the bar. Walk up to the bar. Grazie mille. Ciao. Ciao. Ci vediamo. Ciao, Paolo. Ciao, Giancarlo. Ciao.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And it was
because it's treated like a drug here. They go into the place, they go, hey, I'll take a espresso. Gone. Yeah. This is my drug to keep me awake for the rest of the day. It's not a slow thing. It's not to sit back and check your emails while you slurp away on something.
Because they don't drink dessert. And that's what Americans mostly do. Have you ever seen what's in these clear bubble top coffees? Quote, air quotes. They are it's cream, foam, sprinkles, bullshit. They're confections. These are now desserts masquerading as coffee drinks. And it's not coffee at all. It is dessert.
So true.
Yeah, it's just, that's not coffee. You obviously just don't like coffee. you know.
Yeah, you don't like coffee. You're
You don't
just
like
here.
coffee.
Yeah,
No.
you don't like coffee. I totally agree. I like the tea idea. Like Austria has it. Trieste has it from the Austrian influence,
Sure.
where you sit down for a long experience
Mm.
and you have a lot on the plate. You have your coffee, you have cream, mounted cream, and you have chocolate nearby and so on. And it's a long thing, and you read your book and you sip away. Or the
Yeah.
tea experience, the British tea
Well,
experience.
but it is an adjunct to that. It is
Yeah.
their version. It is a tea service because you
Yeah.
get the silver pot and you get the scones and you get Italian-esque confections or Austro-Hungarian delights or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck that they would have. But high tea is with those sandwiches. Oh, it's great.
Great stuff. Rob
So
Harrison,
great.
$5. One of my favorite sites in France. Seeing beefy truck drivers at truck stops standing up at little tables drinking timbles of espresso. Yeah. Well, you'll see that here. You'll see these like bricklayer guys all screaming, like cursing at each other and laughing,
Stop
calling
talking
each other
dirty, you
faggot
two.
and stuff, right? Yeah, all of that
Beefy
stuff.
truck drivers and bricklayers.
But it happens, man. You see these guys and they have a little espresso and they suck it back. And that's it. They're gone. There's no
Right.
sitting down and pondering and,
No.
reflecting.
I'd like an iced
There's no
mocha
reflecting.
latte.
I think the
grande.
Starbucks model is based on the Austrian model, and that is the reflection, the day that goes by over your cup of coffee or your pot of tea, which is very British as well. The Italians don't have that. They simply don't have it. And I've gone to breakfast places in Italy where I'm like, this is horrible. This is my first time in Siena. We went to this famous place, breakfast place, coffee place. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like famous there. And it was horrible. It was just the banging of dishes and cups constantly and people standing at the bar. And there was no enjoyment. There was no relaxation. I'm like, I need to ease into the day. So I'm a bit outside of that. I go to my local cafe. I get a latte and I wander off. I sit down by the water and I ease into the day. But the Italians don't do that. So the idea of Starbucks for them won't work. Just won't work.
No, and it shouldn't. And I hope it doesn't ever catch on because it's terrible. It's terrible. It's not a coffee culture. I mean, even if you go to the I've mentioned on the channel many times the Autostrada in Italy, and they have this thing like a roadside place that always has this coffee spot, but the people are not sitting there. They're just going in there, putting their money down, getting their coffee, and drinking it and leaving it.
Okay, so here's an interesting thing, and I've said this to you before, Dirk, but I'll say it to the audience. When cafes close down in Italy, they sell off all their stuff to make their money back. The thing they make most money on isn't the premises or the license. It's the coffee machine.
Oh,
because the coffee machines, when they're used, are worth more money. It's like patina in watches. They're worth more money than a brand new spanking, like gorgeous, shiny new coffee machine. One that's been used hardcore is worth a lot of money. And in those autostrada, those stops on the autostrada, the outdoor grills and whatever, they make so many cups of coffee, they make so many espressos. Those machines are priceless. They're considered in Italy, they're considered priceless. An outdoor grill coffee machine is like the dream because it's churned out 1 million espressos. So therefore it's worked in, it's been, grinded in to be perfection. And it's perfect. Like Carla says, or asks, can you get crema al cafe in New York? It is perfect in the summer. Crema del cafe, they don't really know in America. Crema del cafe you'll find here, it's kind of an ice creamy thing. It's a coffee flavored ice cream sorbetto, like a sorbet.
Is it like affogato?
Affogato is a lump of vanilla ice cream with an espresso thrown over it. Yeah. Completely different thing.
Oh, okay.
An affogato is a dessert. You get a piece of vanilla ice cream, you dump a hot espresso over it, and you eat the ice cream with the espresso. Creme al cafe is a thing done in a machine, and it's kind of brown colored, and it's like an ice cream. And they put it
like
in
a
a
soft
thing,
serve?
and they give you a spoon, like a soft serve. They give you a spoon, and you eat it. It's very strong coffee flavor.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and it's refreshing. It's really good in the hot months if you want your coffee buzz without getting hot. But I don't think the Italians, they need their espresso. So it's like they might have a creme al cafe, as an extra thing, but it's not going to fulfill their needs.
They need the heroin first.
Yeah.
And then
At most they'll do a shakerato, which is basically espresso or a couple of espressos shaken in ice.
Yeah.
And it's just espresso. It's hardcore.
They
espresso,
will do
just
it with
shaken
milk
in
and sugar
ice.
if you want it, though. They will.
Yeah, they can add stuff to it. When you ask for a shakerato, it's either sweet or sour.
Right.
So you say you want your sour one.
I always say I want it to
Amaro.
Amaro, yeah.
Amaro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
And
Dolce Amaro. I'm like, Amaro.
Amaro all the way. You don't want that shit.
I
with
want the
sugar.
bitterest, the most bitter
Yeah.
coffee in the entire world.
Absolutely.
But I don't
Absolutely.
want acidy coffee, and I don't want sour coffee, which is where this trend of profiling for coffees in restaurants in New York is very chic, where they're like, oh, this is the black truck coffee or fluffy cloud coffee or this is sad silly puppy coffee. It's all those dumb names, and the shit is red and it tastes like doo-doo. It's awful. You know what? Maxwell House tastes better than that. Because it tastes like coffee. I don't know where they're going with these weird ass grinds in New York. These barristers, like I said, they're like all they them'd out, and like she's got a beard and he's got a skirt. She's like,
Right.
well, I like the one with the cotton candy profile. No. But next, people say
Next.
McDonald's has good coffee. They have espresso at McDonald's.
I've never had it.
They
I'll try it. I'll film
Go
it.
have
How
it.
about that?
Go have a go at the
I'll try it out
McDonald's.
in the McDonald's.
I wonder what they charge. Do they
So the
charge
last story
more?
we were supposed to cover earlier, we got on a rant here,
That's right.
was Elon Musk and his
His
apparent-
father's love child.
Yeah, his father's love child.
They're weirdos. The whole family are weird.
Yeah, the whole family are odd.
They're all so odd.
Elon
That's like
Musk is not a normal.
he's a
person.
funny looking dude. Nobody looks at that guy and says bang. Never. 'Cause
Except
he's a
for
fugly
Amber
dude.
Heard, who saw the dollar signs
Did she hook up with him?
Yeah.
Before Johnny Depp?
after.
After. Oh, so currently.
In fact, some say that she reached out to him, like, can you cover my bill there? Some say, I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Wow. Well, that's she's Elon Musk is as weird as last week's special guest star, Angelina Jolie, when she made out with her brother. These are just slightly left of normal. And I know we're not allowed to use the word normal anymore, but fuck it, I will. People who behave like people and don't
Right.
make out with their brother or have affairs with their stepdaughter and all this garbage. That's just stupidity. Elon Musk has a little brother. His father confirmed secret love child with his stepdaughter. Well, you're a creepy fuck, and that's gross. It's just.
Why is it gross? Why is it gross to have a second step sister or whatever she is?
Because he had the daughter with he had the child with the stepdaughter. It's as wrong as it's as inappropriate as Woody Allen and Sunyi Previn.
I see what they're saying. No, it's a double
It's that.
fold. This
Yeah.
thing. Oh shit! No, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically
You were reading
okay.
this correctly. Errol Musk
Mhm.
fathered 2 kids with his son's stepsister.
Correct.
Odd couple had a son first and a daughter. Oh fuck! Oh shit! This is
Yeah.
deeper than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh dang!
Look at that. And look at Elon Musk. No, like I said, no one ever said bang.
Yeah, but they saw the millions.
I hope Amber Heard had to fuck him though, because he's gross.
Well, she did. She fucked.
Oh, she did. All right.
Amber Heard fucked a lot of dudes just to get ahead. She fucked. Yeah, my God, like she was like creeping around Hollywood trying to gain favors from lots of people.
Well,
That was her MO. She's gay. Amber Heard.
who's gay?
Amber
Is
Heard
she
is
a lesbian?
gay.
Is
She's
she?
gay. She is 100% gay. She has a history of
she
gay
does?
relationships.
Oh, she does.
She went into oh yeah. And some women came forward and said, yeah, she hit the shit out of me. She beat the shit out of me.
Oh,
She's a gay
wow, I didn't know
girl.
that.
Yeah. But
She's
she's
a-
also
she's a-
the prettiest human being on earth. I mean, that is the most perfect female face that ever existed. I'm sorry, it's just technical.
Now she just looks like
Now she looks a
street
little
whore with
different.
the pox.
But in the days, it's like, oh well, if there's a female version of Johnny Depp, that's it. And I don't even have the hots for her or anything. It's just like from a technical standpoint. I don't even find her that sexy at all. She's just, I'm like, oh my God, look at her perfect doll face. She's like, she's just
that
born
comes-
with that
that
shit.
comes with-
And, go figure, Hollywood embraced it and went, yeah, we can film you from any angle you want, darling. And it's just technically like she won the lottery, genetic lottery. But she is a gay woman. I am 100%, behind the idea that she is.
Diabolical lesbian. with
I don't give a shit. Like she can be as gay as she wants. I don't care.
It's not fair though. If she's a gay woman and she's just in it for the prize, then she's a diabolical.
The prize of it is huge. I'm sure she finds Johnny Depp attractive. Who wouldn't? Like you don't, but
Johnny Depp hasn't been attractive in 25 years though.
Fine.
He's been a bloated sack of red wine.
There's a lot of red wine. There's a lot of Petrus wine.
There's a lot of. He just looks like a cask of Petrus.
just sweaty.
Yeah, he's just like he's just aging in the barrel.
Yeah, he is. That's terrible but true. Terrible but true.
Johnny Depp.
So she's just been going through the guys to gain influence and power and money, and I don't think it was any sweat off her back to just like rip the shit out of Johnny Depp once she gained she put her feet firmly on that ground. Anyway, this is her dad. Or Elon Musk, excuse me. Elon Musk.
He looks like Jerry Orbach. A bit.
A little bit, yeah. So he had another child. So the question now is like, can you get some of the money that Elon Musk has, because that guy's one of the richest men on earth?
Does his father have money or no?
I don't know.
Was it all made by Elon?
I don't know much about the father.
Well, they
That's
named
just
their
music.
son Elon. So look at that.
She's a pretty girl.
Is she?
Yeah, that's a pretty girl. Sure.
Oh yeah, she's right. That's her kid.
Wow.
Elliot Rush. Oh, the only thing, oh God, is to reproduce. Well, okay, that's good.
Tesla CEO has 9 kids with 3 women. Is that true? Wow.
Elon Musk has 9 kids?
Apparently.
Wow, so a lot of girls banged him for the money.
He's also a genius.
Okay, here it goes. So it goes, and this makes sense. Here he goes. His father owned an emerald mine in South Africa during apartheid.
Well, they're yeah. Well, can we say it? They're apartheid Jews. We know they are.
Is that what?
They're Dutch? Are they Dutch?
Are they part of the De Beers
origin?
world, or?
Yeah, they're part of the. Elon Musk is Jewish background in South Africa.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they're part of that.
Who arrives? Who arrives?
There she is. She always arrives in a perfect moment.
She
to
always
remind you you're
on the
finished.
2-hour mark.
We're coming
she
up
always
to
shows
2
up.
hours. She's like,
Yeah.
wrap it up, kids.
like-
You're getting, it's late. Stop talking.
She knows what her schedule for feeding is, you know.
Oh, that's what it is.
I just think Elon Musk is just an ugly dude with a lot of money, but he does a lot of things that I think are really cool.
I
You
do
know,
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
I think that Mars is the biggest waste of all of mankind's
Completely.
time. It's got no magnetic field. It has no atmosphere. We can't terraform it. It's a freaking nightmare. It's a dead rock like the moon. It has
put
nothing.
all the effort you would think of putting into the planet Earth, correct?
Right. Do
Just
that.
help
Let's
the
fix this
Earth.
first.
Yeah.
Or if we really want to come up with, you want to put your money where your mouth is, let's figure out the Alcubierre Drive and Proxima Centauri, because that's promising. But you know what? If the Proxima Centauri people were there, we probably would know about it. And we certainly will with James Webb once they point it. They haven't pointed it there yet.
It's still too far away for any of us to care about.
Right.
He's talking about Mars, which is what, 8 months away.
No,
of
they
travel?
can do Mars in 61 days when they're at their closest apex, when they're at the closest point. It can be 61 days of travel. They've got with that new engine that he's got. 61 days. That's amazing.
Oh, what's he gonna? There's no atmosphere. It's freezing
Everyone's
fucking
gonna
cold.
die. They're just
What a
gonna
waste of time. It's just such a
will
waste of time.
explode.
Go down to Death Valley and make that become pour water on that. I just don't understand. Fix the Earth before you go out and try and fix some broken old planet.
It's what people
Doesn't make
it
any
used to
sense.
have water. Yeah, well, something happened there. It lost its
It ran
magnetic
out of it and
ran out of everything. And without a magnetic field, that thing is getting bombarded by radiation so badly. There's it's pointless. Elon, put the money into the travel faster than light, the great centrifuge subway system that he's got in LA. That stuff is hydraulic trains. That's great. Let's get the planet together instead of sending people on a death wish, because it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
He has ideas. That's okay.
He's got ideas and a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Artemis 1. Sorry about that. So it goes. Let me do that because I never do this correctly. So it goes $2. Thank you. Thoughts on Artemis 1? Okay, so we're going back to the moon. In 2 days, right? What is today's date?
Yeah, it's very soon. Yeah, we're going back.
2 days. We're going to go back.
Not
to the moon.
us, but they're going to emulate a trip. It's going to be. They're actually not going to land on the moon. It's going to be in low. It's going to be in low orbit, 60 miles. Okay. And then it's going to come back and drop in the ocean. They're going to simulate picking up guys. So they're training to go back to the moon. If you're a moon conspiracist, like the moon landing conspiracist guy, you love this shit because it's if they can't fucking do it now and they have to practice for it, how on earth did they do it in 69, right? So, so that's what they're doing. What are your thoughts, Dirk, on Armistice 1?
I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's local. We could do it. I think we should do stuff on the moon. We should have some kind of a station there eventually. That's logical. I mean, it's our dead satellite, but it's there. It just doesn't make any sense for Mars unless we're going to terraform, which no one has really figured out how that works anyway. Venus is a far better candidate for terraforming. All it has is a greenhouse effect, and all they need to do is go blow a bunch of shit out and get rid of all the carbon.
Degrees on the 240.
900 degrees. 900
raining
degrees
sulfur on this.
Yeah, it's raining sulfur. We can though. They should go there and just come up with a nice concoction bomb to blow, whatever will blow all the carbon into space, and start over. Because at one time it was probably
that power.
Well, then Elon Musk come up with some ideas for that.
You're thinking of Star Trek.
Well, I mean,
we kind of influence that the look.
At one time, listen, something happened on that thing. The only thing that's weird about Venus is that it spins the other way. It's the only planet that does that.
There's a lot of Venus.
Yeah.
I mean, people think, it's the planet of love and it's so blue in the sky.
Hell.
That shit is evil. It's hell. It will burn the shit out of you.
Sulfur rain.
Venus.
Yeah.
Sulfur rain. You can't go there. We're not going there. That's going to settle down in about 1 million years, just like our planet did. It was hellhole forever. And this is the tail end of the story when things finally cool down to a perfect moment where we could all just like breed and, you know, become something single cellular life became multicellular, and then we came out of that, and then we started fucking texting each other while we're having shit and fucking like doing our YouTube, and then we're all gonna die, and then Venus is next, and like,
I mean, as far as like the Goldilocks, the habitable zone, actually Venus is in the primo spot, you know,
right?
Mars is barely in that spot. It's just, it's too dead. I mean, they're both dead. I mean, we might as well just give up, other than maybe a couple of cool moons of Saturn and Jupiter,
Europa, Io,
and Enceladus. There's some very cool.
People used to talk about Europa like it was the big thing. It was
there's geysers there. They know that there's geysers. There's some kind of
the first thing we have to find is water. Let's face it, water. We need abundant water. We have so much of it on this earth.
Yeah,
you know,
more than beryllium spheres.
Beryllium spheres.
That's what makes your faster than light engine work. In Galaxy Quest, there's brakes, and they're looking for a beryllium sphere.
You need water, otherwise it's the stuff of life. Otherwise,
sure.
I mean,
life
unless
that
you're
we
talking
know
of a
about.
different life.
Right,
if it's carbon-based life like our life,
we don't know. There might be,
unless we don't give a shit about us. Like, that's fine. That's fine too by me. Like, there could be other types of life around.
Yeah, non-corporal beings. You know?
Yeah,
gaseous.
Yeah, they're based on different stuff.
Yeah,
more hydrogen, more nitrogen, more helium, more other elements that we
don't know.
Yeah. Right. But we're basically carbon based and hydrogen, helium based. And if we want more of that, why would we go elsewhere in the universe? We've found it all here. It's plentiful here.
Do you know what the perfect element in Star Trek is called?
What? The
Omega element. It's the most perfect element in the universe, and we only think it exists. in a couple of episodes, in one in Voyager and one in the Next Generation, they come in contact with it, and there's a directive. It's called the Omega Directive, and you're supposed to destroy it, because if anybody else gets a hold of it, they'll have complete domination of the universe.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah.
Is that Gene Roddenberry, or is that?
Yeah, it's Gene Roddenberry.
That's Roddenberry.
Yeah,
because he had that vision. I
Yeah,
think Roddenberry looked at the universe. He looked at, Carl Sagan. Thank you.
Sure. Well, they were friends.
It's later.
Yeah.
Carl Sagan, and he looked at his ideas, and he I think a lot of people have a difficulty imagining the broadness of the universe. Just getting it in your mind exactly how fucking enormous it is. I think if a person thinks they have an idea, you can probably multiply it by 1 million. It's not within our minds to understand how large this is and how broad it is and how tiny and insignificant we are in it. It's just we don't have the mental capacity to quite put it in frame. And I think certain men did, and they tried to communicate it to us. They tried to tell us, listen, guys, here's the bad news. We're really fucking a speck of dust in this fucking
we're never gonna go anywhere.
Thing. Yeah. And if there's anything out there, it's so fucking far away, we'll never ever fucking find it, right?
We'll never find
it. And I think Roddenberry had that idea that he was like, he encompassed that whole idea, like, this could, if we ever got to that stage and we could become interstellar and space colonizing, that this is how our reality would be. And that's why it was so fantastical, Yeah.
And of course, there's the prime directive in Star Trek, which is to never alter or never show our technology. If we're going to mix in with another civilization, we have to act like them, look like them, be like them, never reveal we're from, If anybody who is in a technological state that is below ours, we cannot share our technology or divulge our information because we don't want to tamper with their society. And that is the prime directive. Very important in Star Trek lore.
So he came up with that law.
He came up with the law. Yes, he did. He came up with a lot of shit that we do now. So it's pretty crazy.
It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And all the stuff, all the devices and things, and lots of things have come to fruition, and a lot of things won't. Like transporters, like they're able to do that with atoms now. They're able to do that with a bunch of stuff. I don't know if we'll ever be able to transport to another location, but I do believe that faster than light travel will probably happen, but I don't think it'll happen for another 1,000 years. Because they kind of figured out how to do it. We're gonna, and it's based on Star Trek's, warp drive, a warp bubble. But in order to warp time in front of you and warp space time behind you, you need dark matter. We don't even know what dark matter is yet.
No.
We just know that,
and that's most of the universe.
Most of the universe, but we just don't know what it is. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think so. It goes is right. He says, I think we just get time on one spinning rock, and I think he's right. And we're very lucky that we collectively, as a bunch of people, got to spend some time and have a nice cat and a nice bottle of wine, and get to make love to people you wanted to, because there's a lot of dark matter out there that doesn't get to fuck anybody.
There's a lot of emptiness and nothing and cold and darkness. A lot of people say that when Andromeda collides with the Milky Way, when these two galaxies collide, that actually none of the matter planets or suns will actually hit one another.
They won't.
They're so far away. They'll just go like this, and they'll pass.
Probably
through.
Some will.
Maybe one or two in there.
And Andromeda is more than twice as big as the Milky Way. It's enormous. We're kind of compact comparatively. Andromeda is huge.
Huge.
It's huge. Is that what it is? New Yorkers say huge.
You guys say huge.
Not huge, but you say HBO.
Huge and herb and
right.
I had
and H.
There's H's in our lingo.
Yeah. It's Canadians and Z, YYZ. I love that song, YYZ. Anyway,
huge, plenty of time. Huge.
It was huge.
It's funny because both Trump and Bernie Sanders say huge. That's the one thing they do have in common. They say
because they're from New York.
Yeah. All right, we're coming to the end of it here. That was an interesting conversation. I don't know where we went with half of that shit.
It was tangential, which is fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Anybody who super chatted as well, of course, above all. Thank you so much, guys, for helping us out here. Just having our chats.
Yeah.
And talking about stuff late on a Saturday night.
I don't care about the money, just the stuff.
What's that from?
The Jerk.
Oh, The Jerk.
Steve Martin.
I want my remote control.
Like the TV show?
No, and The Jerk, he's like, I'm going to just take this, the remote. I want my remote.
I'll just take this.
Like the TV, it doesn't matter, but the remote control does.
Yeah. Well, he's a jerk.
Roar the Tiger. That's Bernie from Flatbush. Yeah.
Flatbush. Huge. It was huge. Huge. But then you have to say cream of wheat. I don't like that. It's weird. It was huge. Did you say his name is Hugh?
Well, we say Hugh Grant. We say Herb. You guys say herb.
Not anymore. Martha Stewart reversed it. She started saying herbs, and now everyone does. Everyone says herbs now for about 20 years. Herbs are gone. It's now herbs. She changed it.
Oh wow! Look at that. Look at
she
you
did,
guys.
Before she went to prison and smoked weed and ate some pussy and stuff.
Benzo 199. Cheers, brother.
Thank you, Benzo.
Thank you.
Man. I love that on the flip.
Yeah, he's just like,
thanks,
peace
buddy.
out. Peace out, guys.
Well, thank
Have
you.
a good night.
It was a fun night.
Yeah.
It was fun. Thank you for joining us.
Talk to you guys soon. Wednesday night is our
Wednesday night. We'll see you
and
then.
Saturday. We'll see you then, guys.
Thank you, everyone.